Now, the South African Human Rights Commission says it's concerned that undocumented detainees are not afforded the opportunity to appear before court presiding officers. For an update on this, I'm joined by Dr. Eileen Carter, the Provincial Manager for the Eastern Cape SIHRC office. Dr. Carter, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. There seems to be a growing concern that you've raised when it comes to the lack of understanding on how to treat undocumented detainees, those appearing before the courts. There seems to be some grey area there. Talk to us about some of those concerns.
Good afternoon, Paul, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yes, we have noted in respect of our monitoring endeavours of the detention centres that undocumented detainees are not afforded an opportunity to appear before presiding officers in person when the extensions of court warrants in terms of Section 34 of the Immigration Act is considered. Now, the issue regarding that is in 2017, the Constitutional Court held that illegal foreigners must be given an opportunity to appear in person, as would be another person, a South African resident or a South African citizen. So that was the case in the Lawyers for Human Rights versus the Department of Home Affairs matters. So we are concerned that this matter and this precedent is not currently being executed in the manner it should, and that it is indeed affecting undocumented persons accordingly.
And in recent weeks, the Nelson Mandela University Refugee Rights Center also had to step in here to assist the undocumented asylum seekers, because there was also no clarity or understanding by the local NPA attorney and magistrate who didn't know the relevant law and wanted to proceed with the matter accordingly. What role do you want to play in this space when it comes to educating police and law enforcement officers?
Well, the Human Rights Commission has a very specific mandate in respect of monitoring detention centres. And as an example, we did an intervention today with various stakeholders, which included the Department of Justice, the Department of Home Affairs, tertiary institutions, specifically the ones you have made reference to, the UN, so that we can popularize the correct manner in which we should address this specific section of the Immigration Act, because we cannot stand the risk to discriminate against undocumented persons within the country when the law and the Constitutional Court and our Constitution clearly indicates that they be given an equal opportunity to appear in person within 48 hours of the time of arrest. So for us, it's very important, number one, to create the awareness of the legislation, the awareness of the constitutional duty to provide these detainees with the equal opportunity to appear. But also then we will be monitoring to make sure that once we do step into that space, that we have an understanding of what is happening on the ground. In the past 2 years, for example, let's say when we visited about 10 of these detention centers, approximately 10 of them, whereas 10 detainees at each of them were affected by this unprocedural process. And we need to make sure that this is not repeated, but also we need to make sure that a culture of human rights is popularized within the province and within the country, especially now looking at the fact that we are commemorating Human Rights Month in March.
Looking at the culture of human rights and also assessing the sort of climate we find ourselves in here in South Africa, with movements like Operation Dudula moving across the various communities, wanting to ensure that undocumented migrants do not get the opportunities that South Africans are seeking. What are your sentiments, or perhaps what are the discussions and assertions that you've heard from South Africans on the ground as you go about your various sectors, trying to hear from affected migrants on the ground, as well as South Africans? What do they have to say?
Well, Mpho, I think we need to highlight our 2018 hearing on xenophobia. and that we cannot stand to face another unrest that is based on discrimination. So we need to make sure that, especially in the coming weeks, the Human Rights Commission is very much on high alert about the temperature on the ground and about the temperature on social media and the movement that has been created in respect of xenophobic utterances on social media. So in respect of the Eastern Cape province specifically, we have written to the police commissioner within the province to provide us with information on the readiness of SAPS to respond, to mitigate, and to pick up hotspots when it comes to these operations that are currently underway within society. Again, Paul, we need to underscore a human rights culture. We need to note the right to dignity, the right to equality of all persons within the country. And we cannot afford another xenophobic movement that we have already made very clear position on in 2018. So we are on high alert and we are very much aware of the temperature on the ground.
Very well. Thank you so much. Let's leave it there for now. Dr. Eileen Carter, the Provincial Manager for the Eastern Cape SAHRC Office. Thank you for your time.